This is Queen Maxima. She is part of the royal family in the Netherlands. Okay. And this is her castle. What does she do with her free time? Well, when she's at places like the World Economic Forum, meetings in Davos, is she advocating for cleaner water throughout Africa, or maybe lowering the crime rate in South America, bringing people up from poverty to the middle class? No, she goes and talks about things like this. Take a listen.
All right.
When I started this job, there were actually very little countries in Africa or Latin America that had one ubiquitous type of ID, and certainly that it was digital, and certainly that it was biometric. And we've really worked with all our partners to actually help that being, to grow this. And the interesting part of it is that, yes, it is very necessary for financial services, but not only.
Sure.
It's also good for school enrollment. It's also good for health, who actually got a vaccination or not. It's very good to get your subsidies, from the government.
While we deny you access to clean water, we won't put in a toilet or fix your food supply, but we do want to be able to track you to see why you're dying.
COVID pandemic's over now, right? So all of those restrictions are over, right? Well, in the European Union, there's a new pilot program. And a lot of people warned about this. When the digital vaccine certificates were over, a lot of people said they're not going to let these go. And this is what looks like is happening. European vaccination card will be piloted in 5 countries, says the headline. The European Vaccination Beyond COVID-19 Project, that's literally what it's called, seeks to leverage this momentum by initiating pilot projects to develop and test implementation plans for tools that support both routine and crisis vaccination practices. So they're casting a wide net there. Now we're talking about the entire vaccination paradigm is all going to be on the digital card. It says one key tool that this project will introduce is the European vaccination card, scheduled for launch in September 2024. That's right now. The EVC will initially be piloted in 5 pilot countries: Latvia, Greece, Belgium, Germany, and Portugal. Developed during the COVID-19 pandemic for the EU digital COVID certificate, this network is now managed by the World Health Organization.
I literally just I was in France just last week. One of my family members got married. I'm happy to have been able to take a moment and take my family. I was just talking to one of my family members this morning. I actually look at moments now and go out of my way to take a moment with my family, to take the snapshot, to look at the French countryside, to walk through the medieval castles there, and to rush through a day in Paris. We, hit the top of the Eiffel Tower, the Louvre really quick, and then a dinner on the Seine River. All of it thinking, this may be the last time I'm ever going to get to see this. This may be the last time my kids and I will get to experience a trip like this. We literally could be around the corner from I will never be able to travel there again. Folks, a lot of you are like, you guys talk a lot about COVID like it's still here, and we got to move on. We've covered a lot of other subjects. We're talking about banking. We're talking about AI and all these other issues, but it's not going away. This isn't over. It's so scary right now that we are talking about a vaccine that is a disaster, the worst one ever made. Of all of the things that they would build pilot programs around to take our rights away, you would think they would have needed a product that actually worked, that actually stopped transmission and didn't cause turbo cancers and myocarditis and pericarditis and has kids dropping on football fields, all of which is now being proven by science around the world. So if that doesn't stop them, if a product this bad isn't going to stop this agenda, you better wrap your head around how strong this agenda is. It's a global agenda. And, America really is only the last hiccup. Our little Constitution is the only thing standing in the way where, forget about going to Paris. How about going to your grocery store? How about going to your bank? How about every time can you stand up on the camera, please? What if when you step up, it pops up your vaccine record, and if you're not vaccinated, you can't take out money. You can't come into our grocery store. Do you realize how close this dystopian nightmare is? And it's moving towards us like a freight train.
And we're talking about a system that's attempting to be enacted at pilot programs at this point that is a turnkey. It's a flip of a switch, and it's digital. It's biometric. So sure, no COVID pandemic right now. Sure, no measles outbreak right now. No bird flu outbreak right now. But at the flip of a switch, you can have this global digital biometric ID turn on just like that across all digital networks. And just like you said, no grocery store for you, no public transit for you. You're stuck in your house, no bank account for you. If you say something wrong on the internet and you don't have your vaccines, or where does this go? We don't know. But digital ID records for this vaccination status, this is a big concern. And here in the United States, we look at Forbes magazine, they just put out a new COVID vaccine. They're announcing this everywhere. This is the new version. Take a listen.
Now, here's the choice people have, New Yorkers. I know you don't want to hear about this, but you can spend Thanksgiving quarantining, walking around the house with a mask on, not enjoying the holiday dinner, waiting for a nasal swab from a hospital, or you can be with your family.
I mean, dude,
it's not 2021, Del. This is right now. This is happening.
She's literally planning on having lockdowns apparently by Thanksgiving. She just said it. If you don't want to be quarantined, you want to have a free Thanksgiving and a free Christmas, do what's right now. I mean, wow.
And we have the CDC coming out here. This is the ACIP committee, the Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices at the CDC. And they just published their recent guidance for the new COVID vaccines. Now, I want to take a look at just this specific age group, 6 months to 4 years. Remember, during the entire COVID pandemic, this was never a problem for these kids. Never a problem. This was not the people that were getting affected by this. But right now, with the new vaccine, 2024, if you are unvaccinated, you can see by this chart from the CDC, you need 2 Moderna shots or 3 Pfizer shots. That's what you're looking at right now. Forget about natural immunity, not factor into this whatsoever. Forget about the fact that there is no outbreak happening right now. There is no deadly outbreak, no mention of vitamin D, nothing. Sunlight, out of there. You get your 3 shots if you're unvaccinated. That's as far as the CDC thinking goes, and it's going to be repetitive every year. We've seen this.